Okay, everybody, welcome to week 2 of the Pitt OLS. Going to be bringing to you the Chronokeepers versus Legalize Crystal Weed. Should be a fun matchup. There's lots of familiar faces here. Should be getting into the game fairly shortly, and Champ Select will be beginning. Blue side will be the Chronokeepers. Juice Alley does have first pick, first ban. So we'll see what they choose to take away, and Rengar is the immediate ban. Really low elo stomper here, really easy to snowball, taking advantage of weaker lanes, so good to get that off the board. Darius also taken away. Soraka and Garen. Soraka might be a target against Livia the Rose, the support, very frequent Soraka player. Garen also off the map. Interesting that the Legalized Crystal Weed has decided to take off 2 top laners, trying to give Zelkor a favorable matchup. Diana and Elise will round out the bans, and the first pick comes through as Tristana, picked up by the Chronokeepers. See how Legalized Crystal Weed decide to respond. Looks like they're hovering Hecarim. Could be a top Hecarim, might even be a jungle Hecarim. Haven't seen the last game of these players played, so I'm not entirely sure who's going in which lane yet. Looks like it will be a jungle pickup. First pick by Mark's hot sister. Rab hovering over Caitlyn as well. Oh, that's because I'm not holding my button down now. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, let me set it so that it's whatever. Push the talk there. There, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
All right, guys and girls, we got a special guest. It's Fartosh on the cast. Join me. How are you doing, Fartosh?
I am just dandy. How are you, sir?
I'm fantastic. Ready to watch some fantastic League of Legends plays.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves here.
For the next 2 hours. I'm excited. I don't know. There's
nothing
else there's nothing else I'd rather do on a Sunday night than watch Drew Sally and the gang make some hot
quality
OLS
professionals make some quality plays.
Exactly. All right, so we did have a lock-in of Ashe and Kha'Zix. No, not Kha'Zix.
That's Rek'Sai.
Yeah.
I personally, I think Rek'Sai is a top-tier jungler, very flexible, very mobile. The main strength of her is that you almost have no downtime when it comes to your jungle route. You can use your tunnels, move around, move from camp to camp very effectively, and then once you hit 6, you can just port right back to your jungle and continue. Additionally, if you ever get poked out or chunked out or caught out and escape, and there's a fight around an objective, you can just get right back over there when you need to. Ashe is also another fantastic pick too, with how much utility she offers. I think one of the most important things in this meta too is that AD carries have been suffering a lot lately, and it comes down to more of like the Juggernaut Bruiser meta. So you see like Rek'Sai and Skarner is a very good pickup to.
Aurelia also in the top lane, kind of a very.
And Aurelia, yeah. Aurelia can kind of double as an assassin too, to get onto the back line, but we'll see which build route Dad the Trap God.
Oh wow, we have
goes.
the Mountain King locking in the Nasus, the Doge, the ruler of OLS. We saw it in that last
ruler.
game.
He came up real big.
For it wasn't Bearded Dog, but rather the Spencer. SEW will played it to great effect in the last game. I think that game's still going on, if I'm not mistaken. No, it did end. I'm pretty sure they picked up a win there. But
I believe they did too.
Yeah.
The thing with Nasus is he is one of the most perfectly balanced champions in the game, just because he has very clear weaknesses. He can be kited, you can disengage and just poke him down, but he excels very, very well against melee comps. So we'll see how he does. Xerath, if they do decide to go for that, would be a nice pickup just to try to chunk him out, because he'll have to contend with Tristana, Aurelia, and Skarner, and most likely build armor. So we'll see. You definitely need an AP heavy mid laner here.
So now, at least for most of the OLS games that I've seen over the years where Nasus was involved, what usually happens is that he gets a very early advantage against his lane opponent, and then uses that to snowball into mid-game, and it basically becomes an unstoppable force. So do you think that that's something that Aurelia has to worry about? Like, who really wins that matchup?
Aurelia will bully out Nasus. Just because of her kit, the high amounts of true damage, she can first item Sheen, come back and just obliterate them. That is to say, however, if Nasus gets any jungle presence at all, I'm not entirely sure what Ryan wants to do in this team, where he wants the pressure to go from his jungler. I would assume he would draw at mid towards himself to try to get him going, especially onto an immobile target like Xerath. But if, honestly, all you need on Nasus for a win is to farm. You just need to not feed your lane opponent, because you are always going to outscale. There's not a single champion in the game who scales better than Nasus.
The Vigar picked up will round out Legalize Crystal Weeds lineup here. So now it looks like we're going to have a huge battle of the mages in the mid lane, Vigar versus Xerath.
Yeah. I'm going to say Zelkor's team's win condition is trying to stall to the late game, and then just winning there. Their team just scales a little bit better. Not to say that Drew's team doesn't scale pretty well. You have Tristana, who can be a force to reckon with, especially when it comes to lane pushing, and then you have Xerath, which will augment those sieging capabilities, where he can poke out the back line, force them out, let Triss, drop her E on the tower and just take it down very quickly.
Yeah, it looks to me like Drew Sally and the rest of the Chronokeepers are going to be looking to avoid team fights for the most part and try to just focus on getting picks with Skarn and Aurelia and then sieging afterwards. Whereas Legalized Crystal Weed, they can get a whole lot of engage going on using the Ash arrow and then tie up a lot of people with the Vigar circle.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The good thing about having Vigar for a type of siege composition is just because you zone off their entire melee pool by dropping that. And if you're lucky enough to catch someone in the cage, you don't even have to land the stun on them. You can punish him severely. Like Nami can follow up with her bubble. Ash can poke, get a wither bite from Nasus, and at that point that target should be dead. So we'll see. I think both teams have the tools in order to play well. There are going to be some very interesting team fights. Both have this sort of engage, disengage duality to them. I think the winner of each team fight, aside from whichever lane gets ahead, will be whoever pulls the trigger first.
Yeah, that is interesting. You mentioned they all have really, like a really good amount of engage and disengage, because I mentioned that you could use the Ash arrow to set up a great team fight for your team. You can also use that to stun up the opposing team and then just walk away. Use the Nami tidal wave as well to get away. So yeah, we should see a lot of team fight action in this game. A lot of familiar faces too. We have on the Chronokeepers, naturally we have their captain, Trey Terrible, aka Drew Sally, Dad the Trap God, Heinz Ward, H Master J, all familiar names. I don't think I've ever seen Legendary Guilford play before.
I have not either.
On Legalized Crystal Weed side, we have Mark's hot sister, aka Sankith. Then we have Rab, Livia the Rose, aka Linda Zhang, Zelkor, the captain, Ryan Pollock, trying to lead his team to victory here. And the Mountain King, who I believe is the only unfamiliar name on that roster for me as well.
I will say I'm liking these two newcomers and the champions they play. I think both are very well. I don't want to say Nasus is skill intensive, just because he's really not. But Xerath has the ability to hard carry games. He's gonna have to perform very well if he wants to outplay Vhagar in the mid lane. The one thing about playing against a Vhagar as any AP mid laner is that even if you somehow get ahead, you always fall into the trap of building like exceptional amounts of AP and allowing him to destroy you with his ultimate. So, but it's kind of like Vhagar, in my opinion, is the Garen of the mid lane before his villain change. So you had Garen where he could fall behind top lane and then he'd just come right back and obliterate you with his true damage if you're his villain. And Vhagar can kind of do the same thing with his ultimate. It's like we're finally getting into the game.
Nonetheless, yeah, spectator delay has expired, so now we should be loading into this game. Hopefully we can get straight into the action. So now, based on these team compositions, do you think we're going to have any level 1 interaction going on? I know you could have like a Nami bubble, just a pretty substantial CC at level 1.
I would give it up to Legalize Weed to have a slightly stronger level 1. I really don't see them forcing that though. I think Aurelia is able to solo a camp if she wants and TP top. The most, like, you might see a little bit of skirmishing around the Skarner crystals just because they inherently offer that. For some reason, people just go nuts over the chance to cap it for 10 gold. I really don't fucking get it, but oh, excuse me. But yeah, I don't understand why people will give up. I've seen First Bloods given up to try to cap that thing in the first minute and a half of the game. So we'll see if this happens. That'd be kind of exciting. But I think a lot of these teams, unless you have like a Morgana or a Blitz, I wouldn't really opt towards invading, just because you don't have the catch potential that you really want to get, so you can get First Blood and try to snowball lane off of that.
Alright, looks like we will be loading into the game here shortly, waiting for everyone to become available on the screen. I don't know what the support's got the camera all ordered up, and we'll be ready to go. Just a little bit of background for everyone who's interested. Both these teams are in the Vandal City group, and the Chronokeepers, the team with Trey Terrible on it, currently holds the lead in that group. The point total is currently 3. Legalized Crystal Weed is a close second with a point total of 1, so we'll see if Legalized Crystal Weed can get 2 wins in this best of 2. They could actually end up tying the Chronokeepers for first in that group. Looks like we have a quick pause coming in. Oh, I should probably turn chat off before some BM gets said.
Yeah, that would. There's some BM on the way already.
BM coming in.
BM is always coming in hot.
All right, let's see.
It's just what happens, you know. I don't understand why people get so upset over BM. The best thing they ever added to this game is the Champion Mastery emote. All I do is you spam that. You can make horrible plays, you spam it. You make great plays, you spam it. It doesn't matter, because you're just having fun with it.
There we go. Turn off chat. Okay. Chat is invisible now.
Now you see both teams posturing towards the mid lane. Is your game behind?
I'm on 46 seconds, 47, 48.
Okay, but the stream's behind.
Yeah,
I see. Okay.
Delay on the stream,
yeah, that's right. You see both teams posturing towards the mid lane. Obviously, Skarner has a little more of an incentive to cap his crystal as he benefits from it. So we'll see if they try to force anyone out. Now Aurelia has some vision. Let's see if she can try to get a little bit of harass on Zelkor. If he'll fall victim to it.
Zelkor will face check this bush, and a little bit of both comes back and forth, but not too much going on.
I think Aurelia. Now, I don't think Aurelia made a good choice by picking Hidden Style first. That's her W over Equilibrium Strike. Just because you can use Equilibrium Strike as hard CC. You can use it the last hit. And it can kind of be used as an auto attack modifier, so you can auto attack followed up with that and then auto attack. It's not necessarily an auto attack reset, but it gives you more consistent damage.
Yeah, I think there she could have at least waited for a little bit of poke from Vigar and then go with the stun, gotten a little bit more attacks off on him.
Well, if you're both 100% health, it stuns every time. So that's another thing to keep. So she could have just smacked him, start wailing on him, and I don't think she would have got a flash out, but maybe gotten him low enough. Like Zelkor didn't recall there, and he's already down 60 health.
Right.
So we'll see. It's a pretty standard jungle clear at the moment, as is to be expected. I don't really think Rek'Sai or Skarner are susceptible to invading from one another. You really only ever see like Lee Sin's try to go for jungle invades, or those shifty Shaco players. But I don't know how many of those we'll see in the OLS.
HMAS getting a little bit of poke in onto Rab early. Got a nice E with a couple auto attacks, kind of a chunk out about a fifth of his health. So Rab's gonna probably play a little bit safer now. Early level 2 coming in from the Chronokeepers bot lane. And actually both junglers are going to be
Looks like
in
they're,
front
yep.
of Dragon. Some arguments going over Scuttler, and it looks like Heinz Ward's going to force Marspot's sister away from this one, try to pick this up for his team, grant a little bit of vision.
Yeah, I think that fight could have gone either way. Sometimes it just comes down to whoever gets the better leash. He's a little bit healthier. Also, there's always the threat of Skarner getting that crystal, and then he'll absolutely decimate you with the increased stats he gets from it.
It looks like your prediction about top lane was correct. We currently have an 8 CS lead for Dad the Trap God over the Mountain King, who's getting bullied into his tower. Dad the Trap God does have a small health deficit right now, but looks like he's doing pretty well for himself in that lane, at least in the first 3 minutes of the game.
Yeah. Nasus has also gone with an untraditional start by getting that Doran shield. I really think, especially against an Aurelia, who doesn't... Aurelia has kill potential, but it's not immediate. It's not like a Riven who can combo you to death in a pretty short amount of time. So I think Nasus would have been better well served running a flask start with a couple of pots.
The W does land onto H-Master. Oops, sorry. Everything screwed up with the stream.
No, it's
a little bit of poke, a little bit of engagement going on bot lane. Got me too excited. Moving around the camera.
Just some skirmishing.
Just some skirmishes.
I really don't. The thing with when it comes to Janna and Soraka support lanes, things like that, they really tend to stay like they discourage the enemy from committing just from the amount of peel or sustain they offer. So Janna, being one of them, is just going to be able to disengage any attempt they're going to have. Nami's really, if she's going to want to attempt anything, she's going to need to put out a lot of poke. But obviously the poke can be returned by Tristana, so we'll see. I don't expect much to happen without any jungle presence in the bot lane.
Now, do you think we would see Rek'Sai coming up to those top lanes soon? Because Aurelia has stayed fairly far pushed up and hasn't placed a ward yet. It looks like her trinket ward is down, so there are no wards here to spot out a Rek'Sai ban coming in.
The thing with Rek'Sai, what I really like about her is that you can come from. Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it looks like we're gonna have Mark's sister miss the projectile. Nothing's gonna happen out of this one. Just gonna exit out pretty slowly. Dad the Trap God's gonna stay safe and healthy in that top lane. Bot lane, we have a little bit of engage going on as well. Trey Terrible and Leave the Rose both take a decent amount of chunks of their health, but Rab staying fairly healthy. It looks like they might be turning the tides in their favor. There was a little bit of a advantage for the Chronokeepers bot lane, but it's evening out pretty quickly here.
It's still up 6 CS, which is pretty much an entire wave. So as long as they keep that up, they can build up the gold advantage and maybe come back with an additional item when they both recall.
The Mountain King actually able to get a little bit of harass on the Dad the Trap God as well. Looks like he's looking to turn around that lane. Does get the first level 6 here to see if he decides to try to go in on the Dad the Trap God, maybe call up Rek'Sai for a return gang.
Yeah. He still has his pot. We see Aurelia pop her last flash charge, so she won't be able to stay much longer in lane. I'm just worried about Nasus running out of mana is the thing, because he should be spending all his mana on Q, and if he's like, yeah, he just blew up a ton of mana dropping his E there, and I don't think he's gonna have any kill potential without being able to pop his ult with her and then get a couple Qs in.
Yeah, he's been using Spirit Fire to push the lane a lot, and he has gotten Aurelia underneath her tower, but like you said, running pretty low on mana now.
You don't want to do that against an Aurelia just because of the ease of last hitting she has with her Q. So you're trying to return some harass to him.
Heinz Ward coming in for the gank here. Will he be able to land? He does get the slow now. Might have to force the stun is proc, forces the flash out from the Mountain King. So nice pickup there. Pressure coming in from Heinz Ward. Nasus did have a ward in that bush. It looks like he just kind of was a little bit too far overextended.
Right.
To get away.
Yeah, that was well. If Skarner had entered from the red side tri-bush, I think that would have been a kill. Just he wouldn't have been able to react as quickly. But that was
gonna eat a bubble.
Good escape.
A little bit of harass coming back from H-Master J on Olivia the Rose as well, but nothing more than normal poke back and forth in this bot lane.
Now I want to talk a little bit about the mid lane matchup going on here. I'm not. Do you have the rank of Xerath at all?
I don't have it.
I know Zelkor's Diamond too. I don't know how his Vhagar play is though. I know I believe he sticks primarily to junglers.
Legendary Guildford. Looks
Yeah.
like he is 1150 elo. So
Okay, so this is going to be a bit of a rough matchup. You can kind of see it in the CS disparity already. It's 45 to 71. That's a good bit of gold. You can see Vhagar is already up by about 600 gold. He's going to get his blue buff. He's getting an AP stacked. He's got 52 bonus ability power on his Q already. It's a needlessly large rod, pretty much. And I think we're just going to see, this is where they need to put their effort, or where Chronokeepers needs to put their effort if they want any chance of winning this game. Because a Fed Vhagar will decimate their team. It doesn't really matter how snowballed the Aurelia gets, how big the Tristana is, if Vhagar can ult you and kill you.
yeah, it's interesting because the Chronokeepers actually have their best player, at least as far as elo goes, in the jungle. Heinzward playing that Skarner, and Legalize Crystal Weed have chosen to put their best player Zelkor, who I think is slightly higher ranked than Mark's Hot Sister, in the mid lane. So it's going to be a huge power. It should be at least a huge power advantage in the mid lane based just on elo alone. And like you said, we are seeing it already in the CS disparity.
I think you should always put your highest rated players, your best players in solo lanes, because they tend to do well. We see
the Mountain King is going to get locked up, but he's going to walk back towards the tower. Does not have flash available as he wasted it or used it last time.
Comes the ult.
Heinzward is going to get the ultimate off on Mountain King, also ulted. Will he be able to make it back? The slow comes in from the smite, and just one more hit should be enough. Heinzward picks up first blood.
I think if he had fought that, he would have. Oh, we can see Vhagar force a flash out.
Exchange of flashes there.
Aurelia there, he might have been able to kill her. Yeah, he really underestimated his own damage there.
Yeah, I think he wasn't expecting to be able to
entire
get
time he
out
spent
or
running away. Yeah, the entire time he spent running away, you could have like 2-3 autos and another Q, and that would have killed Aurelia, or at least forced her out. But it was a noble effort. Poor Doge always getting picked on, as he should be.
Yeah, well, that is the way that you handle the Doge.
Way the
Pick
Doge.
on him early, try to prevent him from getting too farmed up and fed. I'm sorry, that's the Chronokeepers that picked up the first kill. I said Legalize Crystal Weed, I think, but Chronokeepers picked up first blood. 1-0. I think it's because I think Heinzward should be on the team named Legalize Crystal Weed. He's on the team named Chronokeepers instead.
Yeah. The problem now with Zelkor having blown his flash, even though it's good, it traded with Skarners, is that I don't know if he'll have enough kill potential on Xerath, unless we get a very shifty gank by Mark's Hot Sister here, who would be able to gank if he just tunneled through the Raptor camp there and popped up on him. But looks like they're gonna shift their attention south.
Gets it spotted out. Zelkor's trying to run down here to give him assistance. Great Tree Blaze hot on the trail. Misses Tornado, and now he's getting locked up. Zelkor should be able to pick up this kill. No, Mark's Hot Sister takes it. To return first blood.
Very good reaction time with that exhaust by Drill. Unfortunately, it's Vhagar who has 171 ability power. His whole
got
combo
locked
is
up by
gonna
that friend Ryzen, and then the combo, like you said, just was too much. We almost saw East Master J getting locked up by an Ash arrow at the end of that engagement, but he was able to rocket them over the wall. Heinzward now going to meet Mark's Hot Sister. And it looks like this could be fairly even, although Heinzward might have a slight advantage here. Does have the Impale available for himself. Rab's going to go underneath the tower, the flash forward, and last auto attack is going to pick Rab up a kill in the spot lane as well.
That's the danger of a Nami Ash comp. The second she gets her, Nami puts her E onto Ash. With Ty Collar's Blessing, she can just auto attack, and you won't.
Zelkor finds, spots out Legendary Guildford, takes out over half of his health with a single combo. If he had ultimate there, definitely would have been a dead Xerath.
It's coming up in about 20 seconds. We'll see if he makes a play with it.
Markshot Sister's not leaving the Chronokeeper's jungle. He's just been trying to bully out Heinz Ward. Now he's fighting against Trey Terrible. This jungle, Olivia the Rose and Kyle Rab actually roaming up from bot lane. Now the flash on the legendary Guildford. Flashes underneath the tower though. Will he be able to survive? Mark's sister gets stunned underneath the tower. This last hit will be enough to kill him. Zelkor picked up the kill on the Trey Terrible, so 1-for-1. Impressive dive here from Legalize Crystal Weed, although they're in kind of a bad position now. We have the artillery coming in. Legendary Guildford does snipe up Kyle Rab, and H-Master J picks up the kill on Olivia the Rose. Didn't end up working out for them as they took way too long to get out of how far they dove into the towers.
There's definitely a little miscommunication there. I think Mark's hot sister really wanted Zelkor to follow up on his knockup with the stun, but Zelkor committed to killing the support again. Who I don't know. I'm not sure if that was really the best call, but as a result, now you have Mark's hot sister dies, and Legendary Guildford follows up by killing Rav again.
With the teleport actually coming in the top lane on the Dad the Trap God, Zelkor is going to be here and picks himself up another kill. 2-0-1, and this Vigar is starting to snowball hard.
Yeah, he's got 300 ability power. This is a problem. Now, I'm not entirely sure of what they can do with their comp, or what Chronokeepers can do in order to stave off Zelkor's AP growth here, but I really think the only way they can do it is to try to bait him into killing Xerath and follow it up with like a 3-man gang.
Heinz Ward going in almost by himself. Trade Replay is here for a little bit of assistance, but looks like Heinz Ward might have overextended. Does get the impale on a Mark's hot sister, but goes down. Kyle Rab picking up that kill. Now they're split off a little bit. Teleport coming in from Dad the Trap God, but he gets lobbed up almost immediately by the Event Horizon. Now Zelkor trying to do a little bit of frontlining, but gets knocked up by the Janna Tornado. Mountain King, though, super deep now going on Dad the Trap God. Does pop the ultimate. Sandstorm coming in hard. Zelkor gets that Event Horizon onto H-Master J. Picks up a kill. No, actually, Mark's hot sister grabs that one for himself.
There's a beautiful Event Horizon stun.
Yeah, 2 of those actually in quick succession. Was able to lock up crucial kills there for Legalize Crystal Weed, and they make a lot out of that dive into the Chronokeepers jungle.
I can definitely see Vagar becoming a 100% ban this OLS because of his scaling power.
Yeah, Zelkor is making this look disgusting. 135 farm, 136 farm, 15 minutes into the game.
He's got 117 bonus ability power on his Q. Now, I will say this is probably the highest, or the quickest scaling you will see on a Vagar in pretty much any OLS game, just because of the disparity in the mid matchup. But regardless, he should hit where he is now, maybe at the 20-minute mark. And even then, you'll be able to delete people at that point, since the majority of players will opt for an offensive item before a defensive item, which is when you would hit that, around the 18-20 minute mark. So if I were Chronokeepers, I would be getting a lot of magic resistance, as you see that they are. A couple Merc Treads built out. Hopefully they opt for like a Banshee's Veil to get through the Vagar stun.
And our predictions kind of panned out here. We saw, like, once the Legalize Crystal Weed decided to group up as 4 or 5 and go into Chronokeepers jungle, they were able to win out at least, you could call some of these team fights. You know, you had 3v4, 4v4 engagements. Whereas the Chronokeepers kills have mostly come from Heinz Ward getting an impale on their crucial target and dragging him into the rest of the game.
Skarner always excels in 2v2s or 1v2s. 2v1s rather, just because of his ability to lock down a target and drag him to a spot that makes him vulnerable. But in a team fight, it's almost impossible to get through a Vagar Event Horizon or a Nami bubble. I don't see how you get by an Aqua Prison, unless you can dodge an Aqua Prison and somehow get through the Event Horizon while being slowed by a Nami and an Ashe.
It looks like Trey Reload is trying to make a play onto Colorado in the top lane. Heinz Ward now in the top lane, picking on Mountain King, again gets the impale. Will the Mountain King be able to make it out? He does have Flash available, now just turns on the Dad the Trap God, buying time for his team to get here. Now Mark's hot sister comes in, Mountain King gets the kill on a Dad the Trap God. Heinz Ward flashes the Event Horizon, makes it out alive. 4 committed to the top lane though.
As you can see, Legendary Guildford and Trace Terrible will be capitalizing on that, trying to push up the mid lane. Ash Arrow coming in.
Does
It
pop
connects.
onto
I
Legendary
don't think they're
Guildford.
going to get there in time. We'll find out.
Markshot Sister is coming in hot, although Heinz Ward is doing some work on the top side of the
He's
map
gonna
as
land
well.
the stun.
Gets spotted out
Ooh.
by the Mountain King. Will he be able to make it out from this one? Looks like he does. No bubble's going to come through from Nami quite yet.
It's a lot of blown summoners. Zelkor just blew Heinz Ward's flash and Legendary Guildford's flash.
It looks like it might be have a 3v2 coming in this top lane. Now the bubble does land on the Heinz Ward. The exhaust comes down as well. Flashing away is the Mountain King. It looks like they will be able to make it out successfully. Meanwhile, in the spot lane, H-Master J is going to contend with Mark's Hot Sister. Rab coming in, might be able to pick up a kill for himself. No, Mark's Hot Sister takes it. 3-1-3 on the Rek'Sai.
See the zoning potential of Zelkor in the mid lane.
Buddy was moved out of your channel.
By Ian.
Who was typing?
That was Ian.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it looks like
Let's see if he can make a pick here. No vision here.
oh, the Event Horizon again is gonna lock up Troy Terrible. Not having
This
a
is-
great match this time. 0-4-1, eating a lot of the Vhagar boost first. Although Vhagar does get locked up with the Frozen Smite. Now will he be able to fall down? No, Olivia Rose picks the kill out of Trap God. Heinz Ward just doesn't have enough damage to contend with Zelkor himself. Falls by Kyle Robb. Now Legendary Guildford, will he be able to make it out here? Gets as Mark's Sister hot on his tail. No, Kyle Rad flashes with the volley for the kill.
Flashes for the kill. What a legend.
Are we doing the TriCast? The hot TriCast coming in here? Oh my god,
Yeah,
the
we-
arrow comes in on H-Master J now. Will he be able to orb block against Mark's Sister? He jumps for the kill, but doesn't get it. Now Zelkor gets the exhaust onto him. Tracer Replay trying to save his team. Now Kyle Robb is going to fall down to H-Master J. Nice work there by Drew Sal, keeping his AD carry safe.
We are getting the TriCast. Now, I'm not entirely sure how that strand of events played out, just because if you look at Blue Side Vision there, they had enough vision in their jungle to spot out the Vhagar before he made that whole play. But for some reason, Drew just decided to run in and get stunned and killed.
Yeah, he's having a lot of
Vhagar-
trouble with these,
Vhagar is
actually.
404 right now for 404 champion not found. That's what's going to happen when he presses the R button. Let me
That's
tell you
right.
that.
That is the second dragon for the Chronokeepers, so they are keeping up in that respect. But Heinz Ward and H-Master J are in a bit of a difficult spot here. H-Master J, will he jock him over the wall? Gets out just in time. Now H-Master, or Heinz Ward and Legendary Guildford collapsing on Olivia the Rose. She's gonna, no, oh, she makes it out alive. The flash out. Heinz Ward can't get to her. Now Kyle Rab's gonna join the fight. Heinz Ward's gonna do his best to make it out of here alive, but the slow's coming in from Ash. The burst from Zelkor gets him another kill. 5-0-4 on that Vhagar. Now down the Trap God melted, absolutely decimated. Kyle Rab picks himself up another kill.
The Mountain King coming in on Nasus. The TP is blown. Conrad's stunned up, and it looks like the chase is... Oh! It's not going to end there as he misses Ash Arrow.
Terrible is gonna get his backstop by Mark's Hot Sister, although Legendary Guildford thinks he can contend with the Rab. The stun does come out, and he melts him. He gets the kill for himself. Now Mark's Hot Sister gonna try to avenge his fallen teammate.
Destroyed. Mark's Hot Sister about to get baited hardcore.
I like the BM cleanse there.
H-Master J getting the kill on the Mox Heart Sister now. Legendary Guildford gets locked up with the Event Horizon Zelkor.
That would have been a good time to use cleanse.
7-0-5 on that Vhagar. Mountain King still wants to go in on this. A little bit of miscommunication maybe. He does get stunned up by Heinz Ward. Does he have the impale? Does not have the impalable available. Event Horizon's going to keep him out of the Mountain King's range, and it looks like they will be able to disengage from this one.
Well then.
Very balanced hero getting dropped in the chat.
Lots of action coming in here. We saw again.
Livia the Rose hitting the bubble, but will it be enough? Dad the Trap God decides the pink ward is worth more of his time.
Zelkor is just going ham on this Vhagar. 7-0-5, and he's just, as soon as he gets an Event Horizon onto any target, whether it's Trey Terrible, whether it's H-Master J, they just become immediately decimated, just a wipe from the map. There's not really a whole lot you can do other than avoiding that Event Horizon, and the Chronokeepers haven't had a great success with doing that yet. Mountain King now is going to pick up the kill on a Dad the Trap God, but he's almost certainly going to fall here to H-Master J. Does pick up the kill for himself. Heinz Ward now leading the charge. Picks up the kill on Olivia the Rose. Zelkor going to do his best to keep them. Oh, locks up Trey Replay with the stun. Will he get not barely, just not enough now? He does get locked up by Legendary Guildford. Nice stun underneath the tower. Heinz Ward tanking up for his team now. Markside Sisters are going to make a quick escape, burrowing over the wall. Looks like he will be able to make it out, but this is a kind of turnaround coming in from the Chronokeepers. He's going to be able to pick up the second tier mid lane turret. John, SOS, are you there? John. Rab almost certainly going to fall here. Once Dad the Trap God gets in range, will he be able to kite it out? No! The crit comes in from Dad the Trap God. That auto will be enough to bring him down. This is actually Dad the Trap God's first kill this game. 1-5-2 on the Aurelia. Legalize Crystal Weed do look like they have the upper hand so far in this matchup. About a 6,000 gold lead 23 minutes into this game. 18-11 in kills, and they do have a tower advantage. 5-3. Chronokeepers have picked up 2 towers for themselves. Like we mentioned earlier during Champ Select, both teams scale relatively well. We'll have to just see who's able to make the most out of it as we get out of mid-game and start getting into the late game.
We still see about a 6k gold lead in the favor of Legalize.
Oh yeah, I just said that. I don't know where you went.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. I don't know. I guess the end is no longer tri-casting with us. I don't know what that was about.
That was a whole clusterfuck. That did not help whatsoever.
No, it did. It's kind of hard to tri-cast that.
Oh, he steals the blue buff.
He does get that
very well. Good play by Zelkor. That's gonna hurt. More keys, more stuns.
Oh, Mark's Sister going straight in onto Trey Replay. Gets locked up with the bubble as well. Will it be another death? No, he does able to make it out. Heinz Ward now left alone by his team though. Will he be able to lock up Zelkor? He does get the impale onto him now. Will his team capitalize on it? Zelkor still alive. No, gets felled by Legendary Guildford. Heinz Ward still alive, but the Mountain King has returned a kill onto Dad the Trap God. Where are the sands going, and will he be able to pick up anything else? No, he gets forced out. H-Master J flashing forward for the last auto attack of the kill. Gets the reset, jumps towards Livia the Rose, not able to make too much out of it on this side, though Livia the Rose is able to walk away. H-Master J basically 2v1ing here, but ends up falling to Rab. A 3-for-3 overall. Heinz Ward and Legendary Guildford are still alive here. Will they be able to pick up the kill on the Rab? The stun does come through. The kill as well. 3-3-6 Heinz Ward on that Skarner, and it's starting to look good for the Chronokeepers.
Alright, to kick some people off TeamSpeak because we don't have enough slots.
What's with the TriCast?
All right, Doctor. I don't know if we need 3 people in here. This is a hectic game.
I'm gonna mute myself and just watch.
Thank you.
He's so sad. I feel so bad about this.
We'll cast another game, I promise. Well, you can do analysis. You just can't do some battle casting. It's too hard to hear or concentrate with the 2 of you. I really think Chronokeepers should work on their forward vision a little bit more. Drew's doing a good job with some defensive warding around. You can see there's in the eye bush around Baron, but that's about the furthest ward they have.
The Chronokeepers have been doing pretty well in the as far as team fights go. Not too long ago, Trey Relay was 0-4-1, 0-5-1, and now he's gained 9 assists for himself in the past 10 minutes or so.
That's true.
I think a flash Skarner ult. I think a flash Skarner ult can shut down by a guy.
Well, that's what we saw the last time he used his flash. That's about the only way they can really get to him with the amount of zoning and slowing the team provides.
Yeah, team fight really started to go into the Chronokeepers' favor as soon as they got Zelkor off the map. The problem is, like you said, just getting to him. It's very difficult with the amount of disengage they Legalize Crystal Weed are bringing to the table.
Nice poke coming down.
Yeah, you do see Xerath finally has enough ability power to offer some poke, maybe to force off the carries on the back line.
This would be Legalize Crystal Weed's first dragon if they're able to secure it for themselves. Dad the Trap God did pick up the turret top lane, does have the teleport available if the team decides to go in. Heinz Ward going to try to get the steal, but Mark's Sister secures it for his team. Burrow's now over the wall, but H-Master J is ready for the kill now. His teams are kind of split up here. Heinz Ward is going to try to reset, maybe get on a Zelcore. Out the trap god picks up the kill there. Did come in with a teleport. Mountain King now putting some pressure on the H-Master J, but his team's coming back in for the peel. It does fall down anyway. Mountain King's still alive, but it's going to get felled by Heinz Ward. And that was a 1-for-2
really
exchange. 1-for-3, actually.
1-for-3. They did secure the dragon, however. I'm not sure if that was miscommunication or what Mark's hot sister was trying to accomplish there, but he burrowed right into the back line with Tristana and Xerath all alone at about 40% health and was just immediately taken out. I really don't see why he didn't just stick around. All Legalize Weed has to do is sit around Zelcore and wait for him. If Skarner ever approaches him or Aurelia approaches him, unburrow, wither, bubble, or aqua prison, you have so much peel and disengage and slows that Zelcore should just be able to bumble back and then obliterate someone.
Ash just got denied red buff.
Oh, top lane by
Maybe there's
Mark's hot sister.
some tilt frustration going on here. Let's see if it accrues as the game goes on.
It is starting to... Hey, I think really the key there, like you said, was Mark's hot sister decided to burrow over the wall into 2 enemy players. And
It was essentially a 4v5.
Exactly, yeah. As soon as that happened, it
into.
was a 4v5, which led to 3 of Legalized Crystal Weed falling there.
Now, Vhagar has completed his Zanyas. I'm not entirely sure if that will save him very well, just because his team... I guess you can have Nasus and Rek'Sai get in there, try to create some havoc while the Zanyas is going on to save him, but if he gets ulted by Skarner, he's gonna die. Anytime the Impale comes through, it's game over.
Yeah, I think a lot of this has been Zelcore kind of trying to frontline, make plays for his team. I think now what he needs to do is take a more of a glass cannon kind of approach. He needs to kind of stay out of vision and just wait to see what the Chronokeepers do. Wait for them to blow some cooldowns and then come in with the event rise and start doing cleanup. Guildford going to get engaged on the Ash arrow comes through now. Heinz Ward does get an impale on Zelcore, and now the trap god is back there. But like you said, the Zanyas come through, the double bubble as well. Zelcore is still staying relatively healthy. Although H-Master J jumps in, not enough for the kill, however.
Ults him to safety.
Yeah, ults him to safety, 1-for-0 in favor.
You see Nasus on the flank from below.
Let's pop the ultimate
None
here.
of that.
The Gauss comes out, flashes onto H-Master J. Now we have 2 big bruisers onto the AD carry. Mountain King just looks at that trap god and he falls over. Mark's sister stays alive, and double kill comes through for the Mountain God. Tracer
That's
Replay
just the
falls
Doge
as
for ya.
well. And Legalized Crystal Reed just showed that they're not slacking in this game at all. Maybe the last team fight was a fluke, but they definitely came through hard on that one.
Yeah. Nah, that should be a Baron for sure. I
I was
Skarner
really
does
surprised
recommend
with
it.
Mountain King's damage.
Both. He doesn't really have a ton of farm. You see, he only has about 417 stacks, but it's enough to start laying down the law. He might be able to even complete his. Yeah, he can definitely complete his Trinity Force here. See if he can secure the blue buff as well on the way out. Poor little Vhagar.
Yeah, they do take away the blue team's blue buff.
I will commend Chronokeepers on a very good play. I don't know if you saw it, but both Skarner and Aurelia flanked in from the blue side of Legalize Weed's jungle, and he was able to just flash, pull him away from the team, seclude him in his own jungle with Aurelia, force him to flash Zanyas, get out of there. Or not flash Zanyas, just Zanyas. But that was about the best play they could have hoped for, especially with Nasus not even being there, and you can see it didn't really even go that well for him. So I'm not entirely sure. I think they really need to rely heavily on Xerath. One, to not get caught out like that, but more importantly to try to secure a stun with his E, his shocking orb, lock someone up, get some poke out, try to force him out of the fight, and then make it a 4v5, or even secure a kill on someone. I'm not really sure why he's opting to max his E over his W, however.
He needs to play farther back.
That's not what you do on Xerath.
And we see here again, Legendary Guildford was the closest member to Mark's hot sister there. That could have easily been a burrow knock up into another engage.
Well, keep in mind he has his they have some peel as well. You have Janus Tornado. You have
It wouldn't have been a very
a
successful
WP.
engage, but still,
Yeah.
he needs to play a little bit further back, like what you were saying.
Yeah. Now, I think what Legalize Wheat should do is the next time there's any objective coming up, you have Dragon in 30 seconds, is to get some vision denial, get some deep wards in the jungle, which they've kind of done. I think they could have got a little bit deeper, and just set up a death bush or something. Make Chronokeepers run in, face check, and get obliterated by a burst comp. And then just try to force a 4v5, followed up with a Nash arrow onto fleeing team members.
Yeah, really, the Death Bush would be great for their comp. The Zelkor lays down an event horizon and just obliterates 1 or 2 members.
But you followed up with the Nocturne Prison. You have Ash slow, even if they get out.
Yep. It looks like we do have Legalize Crystal Reed heading towards that dragon.
You see, they opt for the 1-0-1 split push, while the rest of their team secures dragon. This may be biting off a little more than they can chew with how many objectives they're pushing. But it looks like they secure dragon uncontested. They're rotating back to the mid lane.
Behind ward's going to get a little bit of damage onto Mark's Hot Sister. Trace Reblay here for a little back.
Now Mark's Hot Sister has absolutely zero vision in the blue side of Chronokeepers, or blue buff side. I really don't understand why he's up here.
Even if they send more than one on him, like now they push mid. Now they
the Impale comes out onto Mark's Hot Sister, and like you said, they do have 4 members pushing that mid. Mark's Hot Sister is going to fall down, but it will be traded for an inhibitor turret.
That's a miss. That's a miss by blue team.
Capitalizing on him getting caught out.
Honestly, I think that was their intention. They saw that. I mean, they did have an idea at least that they were going to be. I mean, they knew at least 2 people were committed top lane, and then when it started to be missing, they kind of got the idea that 3 or 4 were going to be committed top lane, so it made up an easy mid push for them.
The problem is they would have been fine. I think Chronokeepers would have came out ahead if they just left Xerath mid.
Although
he has so much potential, he has so much wave clear potential in his kit that they can't 4-man push a turret without any minions at this stage in the game. Where it's a little early for that.
Brings up a good point in chat though. He says, "Killed Sandcath worth IMO."
That is always worth. I agree wholeheartedly with them. So we'll call that one a tie, even though the inhibitor's down.
Yep, definitely a tie. I wonder if that post is still there. Excellent. Okay. So 26-19 in kills. The Dutch Crystal lead looked like they still are holding on to their advantage. About 7,000 golden lead. Still been pretty steady golden lead over the past 10 minutes or so. The big thing right now is that they have an inhibitor down.
Well, not only that, you have 2 infinitely scaling champions on their comp. You have Nasus sitting at over 500 stacks on the Cycling Strike. Vagar has almost 250 ability power, bonus ability power from his Q. He's over 1,000 ability power. At this point, he can look at half of the composition of Chronokeepers and delete them, or severely chunk out Skarner or Aurelia.
Looks like they're going for a 0-1-4 split push. Actually, Nasus might be headed top. Baron is coming up in a minute 30. See if Legalize Crystal Reed decide to try to push any objectives, any additional inhibitor turrets, or if they're just going to
I think Legalize Weed is just wasting their time with the siege. They should be clearing their jungle camps, getting farm, or pushing that top tier 2 turret, as Nasus is doing.
They're giving Nasus more time to stack, but do you really need that at this point?
No, you don't. But they don't get anything out of sieging unless they can catch someone out. And their comp isn't really designed for that.
I think they could Ash Arrow someone under tower
from downtown. Yeah, but they can't remove them from the tower. They don't have like a Skarner or a Gragas to displace the target.
I mean, they could just remove them
have
from
to
the game
all in.
with Vygar.
True, but then you run the
then you run the for it, taken down to a quarter health right there.
That is the dark matter. With 1,055, does it really have a 1-to-1 scaling? Who put that in there?
This is actually working out for them because they don't have anything that can contend with Mountain King. He's already beaten out the Trap God in these trades.
Zelkor's getting so close. Almost any event horizon that sticks will be a kill at this point. Maybe except for
Oh,
Heinz
Zelcor
Ward.
actually
There
gets
it
locked
is.
up there. They dive on Legendary Guildford. He does pick up the kill anyway. Heinz Ward not going to be able to get to
Good
Zelcor.
flash.
Almost certainly going to fall down as well here. Marktott's sister underneath the turret. No, Heinz Ward gets out alive. Straight to replay. Eats a bubble though, and the volley comes through for the kill. Livia the Rose actually gets ulted to safety by H-Master J. He's been using that way too early in these engagements.
Yeah, he has been.
Mountain King
I-
also picked up inhibitor
I just
top
want to
lane.
say, Zelcor almost one-shot Janna with his ultimate while being exhausted. Like,
He has a little
that's
bit of
just
damage.
terrifying.
A little bit of damage.
Like, it's 40% less damage, and he just almost deleted him anyway.
As Heinz Ward is going on this crazy chase on the Mountain King,
Look at this.
the base is falling
Nami is
over.
coming
There's
in.
3 inhibitors down.
Nami's coming to the rescue. Let's see if she can make it in time.
Mountain King's gonna make it. He's just gonna wither and walk away. That's pretty much it. But now, Chronokeepers have 3 inhibitors down. They're down 10,000 gold. It's not looking good for them at all. Baron is up, and that's almost certainly gonna go over to Legalize Crystal lead if they choose not to just push and end it.
Yeah, 3 inhibitors before the 40-minute mark in a game is always almost a win. Unless Chronokeepers can get 2 uncontested aces back-to-back or something ridiculous. I don't think they can crawl back from this. But I've seen crazier things happen, so we'll see how this game pans out. You see, Legalized Weed has finally recalled, bought some of their items. Zelcor opted for a Will of the Ancients. May not have been the best buy, but hey, at this point he can do whatever he wants, I suppose. The Doge is almost full build, just missing 1 item. Ashe is almost full build. I think they're doing all right here. As a beefy Rek'Sai, almost 5,000 health there. The great thing about picking Ashe and Veigar, who are 2 pretty immobile champions, that I like about Legalized Weed's comp is that they went for 2 of the beefier frontline jungler and top laners, rather than like a squishy top laner like Fiora or something. They go for a Nasus, who can just get up in your face and be a real threat.
Flashes over, not sure what he's going for here, but Taneda's going to connect onto the 2 members of Legalize Weed. Drew Sally throws in the BM, but he gets slowed up by the smite, and the arrow comes through too. He's almost certainly going to fall down. Marcel's sister picks up that kill. Event Horizon on down the trap god. He falls down to Zelcor.
Oh my lord.
BM never pays off, kids.
BM never pays off. Drew Sally falls for a
super. BM always pays off, except in the very rare instances where it
2
does
Nexus
not be.
turrets down. The Nexus is going to follow shortly as well. H-Master J, the last one to fall before the Nexus. And that goes 1 kill for Legalized Crystal lead.
Good lord. Zelcor ended that game with 1,264 ability power at the 40-minute mark. That is just, that's just not fair. That's not right.
Oh, and he got a Woda. Like, that's not even optimal.
he got a Woda for some reason. I don't understand that, but at this point he can really do whatever.
Dude,
he
you
wants.
ult someone and you get like half your health back easy.
All right, we're gonna take a quick caster break, about 5, maybe 2 to 5 minutes, somewhere around that area. Go grab the bathroom and stuff. Thanks for
Well,
watching,
I just
guys.
heard Rab enter the bathroom, so it might be a while.
Okay, yeah. So, real quick break, guys. There's gonna be a second game coming through. These are best of 2s. The winner takes 3 points, right? And if it's a tie, each player, or
1-1.
each team gets 1-1. Yeah. So, if Legalized Crystal Weed are able to pull off this next game, they will tie the Chronokeepers for lead.
Nah,
I think
League guys just won.
just one. If they win this
Yeah,
next
so-
one, if they win this next one, though, they will tie for leader of the division they're in.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying,
yeah.
because Chronokeepers got 2 last week, I think. So, all right, guys, be right back. Thanks for watching. All right, kiddies, welcome back. Game 2 starting soon. Let's go. Let's get in on it. All right, cast is up. Got the cast, got the teams, and we're starting. Champ select. Let's go, boys.
I'm definitely gonna expect a Vagar ban here. I don't think Nasus will be banned. I feel like they can counter him still, but they were really the contenders here. You see almost an immediate Rek'Sai ban as well, just because even though Mark's hot sister had some misplays last game, he really committed to getting some good flanks, getting knockups onto targets, getting in the back line, causing some havoc. So you see the Rek'Sai Vagar bans coming out. I'm pretty sure Valkor's champ pool is a little deeper than one champion, so you should be okay with these target bans.
Yeah, pretty reactionary bans coming in here. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
the Rek'Sai was really worth banning.
Okay, well, none of those bans were worthwhile, except for the Vagar one.
The Vagar one was definitely worthwhile, I would say. But
Yeah, no, aside from the Vagar one. You can see Legalize Me just kind of opts for the get the Juggernauts, get the OPs out. Elise is pretty much the highest rated jungler in the game at the moment. Just get her out of the way, because even though her combo is a little tricky to pull off, you got to push like 6 buttons or something.
that's a lot of
It's-
buttons. 6 buttons.
That's
is
a lot of buttons for a lot of people, but you just destroy people. And she's like a little bit more challenging Nidalee, or about as on par, but she excels a lot more at the pressure she can put out, and her dueling potential is absurd. So you see, Rab is gonna opt for Tristana this game. That's what they opt for the first pickup. I think what they're gonna do is try to avoid they want to see what they can counter pick with first. So they get a safe 80 carry. Tristana doesn't really have any counters in the bottom lane. Always a pretty safe 80 carry to lane with. I see if Legendary Guilford opts for his Xerath once again.
Do you think
That'd
that'd
be-
be a good pickup here? Because it looked like he had a little bit.
If they tailor, he was picked kind of late in the draft. If they tailor their team around him, like a poke team or a poke comp, you get maybe like a Sivir or a Varus or something to poke along with it, and you can just single out targets and obliterate them with a beefy Nautilus top lane in front. That would be good. Ooh, I hope we see a Kha'Zix jungle, and we do. There's the immediate lock-in.
The lock-in, yes, we will be
Oh,
seeing Mark's
baby.
sister on the Kha'Zix. Leave with the Rose hovering the Braum.
Oh,
She didn't
he's
actually get her
always-
Soraka
he's always
ban, so
fun.
we could see that coming through. Looks like Janna might be a pickup as well.
Soraka almost always ensures a safe laning phase, and can even be oppressive when paired with the right 80 carry. Just because you can dump everything into a frontline 80 carry in the bot lane, and then you just heal her up to full, while the other team is still suffering for the damage inflicted on them. So we'll see. Braum would be a great choice, just because Braum has a lot of dueling potential, a lot of great kill potential with Tristana, especially with her attack speed steroid. Proc the passive, stun almost always leads to a kill.
And we do have the Braum locked in. to
Now
Tristana.
I'm expecting 2 APs for their top end mid lanes here, just to round out. So you don't always want to have a full AD team. You run into the threats of counters like Malphite. I don't know if you've ever been in a game where you have 4 ADs against a Malphite with 500 armor, but he pretty much just stands there and spams his taunt, going, "You will lose," the whole game, while you all try to dent his passive. It's really fun to play.
Coming through with Corki being covered right now by HNSJ.
Now, also a fantastic choice to coincide with Xerath here. Poke is very necessary to a Xerath. You always want someone to augment his poke while having a front line. So you have a Nautilus and a Leona, beefy frontliners you gotta get through, while you have Xerath and Corki in the back. Now the problem is Corki kind of falls off a little bit in the late game. So we'll see if he gets there, but that so far they have a good team, just because they have insurance with Xerath, and they have 3 other picks that tend to excel in the early and mid game. So you have this Corki Leona bot lane threat where they can really punish and try to build up any kind of early game lead to build off of that and ensure Xerath scales. Now if Zelcor, Okay, we see the 4-man. There we go. That's a better choice, Zelkor. You don't want to
Same
pick.
with Fizz. I'm
You
really
don't want to
interested
pick
to see
talent.
what Zelkor plays because he was just so effective on that Vygar last game.
He does not want an AD. They want 2 APs. Thank you. There we go. So you see Maokai is locked in. Fizz is locked in. Fizz is a fantastic counter to Xerath. Pop the fish on him. He's not moving anywhere. Throws a stun at you. Hop over it. He's dead. Every time. Maokai's great. Scales fantastically. We're never going to see any kill pressure, really, unless they have a hyper carry jungler like a Master Yi or something like that who can really deal out the damage onto him. Because Nautilus and Maokai are just kind of going to slap each other and go about their farming. There's not really going to be much kill potential coming out from either one.
Now, it is kind of interesting that they've decided, Chronokeepers decided to allow Legendary Guildford to have first pick and to pick up his mid lane champion first, which opens up Zelkor to pick up basically anything he wants to. And Zelkor, I mean, Elo doesn't necessarily matter, but I think we saw from that last matchup that Zelkor is the more skilled mid laner, so it's kind of exposing Legendary Guildford to a poor matchup from the get-go.
Yeah, I agree. I think this was definitely a mismatch when it comes to the pick ban and drafting phases. They didn't really. They had reactionary bans coming from the side of Chronokeepers. Automatically first pick the Xerath, even though that's assured. I don't think you're ever going to see Zelkor opt for Xerath unless it really Xerath doesn't really counter too many people. He just kind of is an annoyance and can carry games if he wants to. You do see a jungle Olaf. Interesting. Olaf does fine in the jungle. He's got a good clear, but he's kind of item dependent. Where I think and experience dependent. He scales really well with levels. That's why you typically see him in the top lane. So we'll see how Heinz is gonna use Olaf's strengths to put some pressure out here. I'm not entirely sure which lanes he can pressure, just because of how slippery they all are. You have Braum with his leap. Tristana's got her rocket jump. Zelkor's got his playful trickster. Maokai, if he wants to be shifty enough, can try to juke people by juke CC by gripping to a minion. Pretty much every member on Legalize Weed's team has some sort of disengage, and I don't really expect Olaf, unless he gets a really good flank, to do anything lately. We'll see though.
Let's just talk about
they have catch potential.
Who do you think has a strong? Just looking at these matchups with the knowledge you have from the previous game, who do you think takes this one?
Unless Chronokeepers gets a really good early game, I'm gonna throw it up to Legalize Weed, just because of they have so much hard engage. You have Maokai going in, rooting a target. Zelkor can single any target out with his ultimate. The thing with Fizz's ult is it's great for isolating a target, marking it. It's almost like putting a big bullseye on the target, like, hey everyone, let's go pop this guy. It doesn't really matter if it's a frontliner, but if it's someone on the back line, you can just pile on. Kha'Zix is going to get back there if he evolves his wings, decimate him. It's just, I think they're just going to be able to blow up someone in the back line and then win with a 4v5 if they want to.
So now I don't think that the Chronokeepers are suffering from a lack of hard engage with their comp. They do have the Nautilus. You can chain that pretty well with Leona. They have a
they
whole
don't
bunch of CC there. I think what they're lacking really is damage. They don't have a
they
lot
don't
of
need
damage
hard
they can
engage
focus onto one person.
Exactly. They don't really need the hard engage against, because Legalized Weed's comp is going to be engaging onto them. They only need peel. They need peel and kiting and poking potential, which what they have kind of. I think they may have been better off with. I think where they were at fault is with the Nautilus top lane pick. I think Olaf kind of works in their comp because he can throw out his axes or peel, or even if he wants, he can be a Nusus on the back line, pop his ultimate, get through anything, and try to tear up Rab in the back line. But I'm not really sure why they opted for a Nautilus top lane and not some sort of frontline aggressive AD bruiser. Pretty much they needed Darius. If they had Darius,
I was
their
gonna
team
say, you
comp
mean
would be
Darius or Garen
fantastic.
or Nasus?
No, they needed Darius. Darius excels so well in poke comps. Because your comp's poking the whole time. The other team gets frustrated. They're like, you know what, let's just go in. That's all in. And Darius is like, hello, I'm Darius. And he'll just dunk everyone. It's so great. I love seeing him just go crazy. But I don't think they banned him for that reason. I think they banned him just because he's Darius. We'll see. I think unless Chronokeep, their win condition is let's get an early game lead, put all our focus on the bot lane because they have a lot of kill potential with Leona Corki, like an absurd amount of kill potential with how much burst they can offer. I think it's really only outdone by like a Graves or something. And then from there, they should try to push in the bot lane, get control of bot jungle, get control of dragon, and really augment like an early game lead. I don't expect that though. I think as long as Mark's hot sister can do some effective counter jungling or get Zelkor snowballed, then that's all they have to do, and I think they win the game. They have a much easier job at winning the game.
Oh, the immediate
See the
OLS
traditional
pause, the young pause.
Traditional OLS pause.
Coming through
Someone,
here.
I don't know,
Buddy
forgot to get
disconnected
like
from your channel.
some food or something, or take a leak.
Interesting. Okay. Honestly, what I think is going to happen here is Zelkor is going to completely dominate Legendary Guildford mid lane. I don't think he stands a single
Fizz,
chance against that Fizz. He just gonna as soon as
you
level
will
6
be
comes
surprised.
Through,
Now,
we'll
I'm not
see,
sure. Is that his main? Do you know how many games he has on him?
I don't. I would assume it's his main because he first picked him. So.
Okay, true. I think people underestimate. Fizz is a good count, maybe not a counter to Xerath. Like people say LeBlanc's a counter to Xerath, but when I played Xerath, I would just change my play style. Where I'm like, okay, can LeBlanc distort and try to kill me here? Oh, she's gonna distort here. I'm just gonna stun her, and harass and disengage. And you just do that, force her out of lane, or try to poke her before she gets the harass on, and then you shove the lane into her tower, and keep going like that. Now, I think you play the same way with Fizz. Fizz is very susceptible to ranged champions early on, just because of him being a melee champion. So as long as Legendary Guildford tries to be aggressive in the early game, and then be
Oh wow! Some first level excitement. Oh,
Oh,
Mark's Sister fails the
my
flash over the
lord.
wall. What is that?
look at the flash, look at the moves.
Fails the flash over the wall. Legendary Guildford picks up
Mark's
that
hot
first
sister,
blood.
what was that?
That was something.
That was something.
That's some
indeed.
OLS top play
See,
material
now,
right there. I think.
I have sympathy for him because that's a fat wall. Just look how beefy
Where
that
he
wall
tried
is.
it is. Where he tried to do it is because he tried to do it right
At
where
the
it's
thickest
fat.
point.
At the
He
thickest
started
point.
at
Yeah.
the thickest point. All he had to do was flash down and then run to his turret if he wanted, not flash across.
Oh, he could have just flashed over that little hump there and then
Like
ran
the
down
hump.
to his
The
turret.
hump would have
Right.
been
Yep.
enough. Yeah, like he had escape routes. I don't know why he was there in the first place, to be honest. All you have to do is park someone at the eye bush by dragon, park someone at tri bush on blue side, and then you just sit there. And if anyone comes in, you ward and you run to tower, and you watch them run in and run out, and then you go do your jungle camp. So we see that Xerath does pick up that kill. For some
Definitely
reason,
gets
he
him a
did
little
not.
bit ahead in the mid lane,
He
but
did not elect to go back and get a second Doran's ring, which would have been absolutely huge for him. The mana sustain it provides, and the extra health really makes it difficult for Fizz to inflict any damage. He needs to start punishing Zelkor a lot with auto attacks. That's where he's going to come through. Because right at a level 1 Fizz is nothing. He has a point in W. What's he going to do? Like auto attack you once and that's it?
Legendary Guildford did get the early level 2, some XP coming through from that kill that he got on a Mark's hot sister. Like you said, he does need to be a little bit more proactive with the harass on the Zelkor. He's letting Zelkor get stay even in farm at least. Needs to force Zelkor to chug these crystalline flasks.
Yeah. Now that's all Fizz has to do until 6 is try to stay even against the Xerath. He's not going to win early game. Maybe if he gets some jungle, like a jungle gank at level 4 or 5, he might be able to do something, but until 6, he doesn't have any kill pressure on the Zerath.
We do see Heinz Ward. Did he pick up? He did pick up the red buff. Yeah, he got the red buff from the Chronokeeper or from Legalize Crystal Weed's jungle actually. Caught Rad taking a lot of damage in that bot lane. Already down to what was that 100 health or so.
Yeah,
Tree Blade
that's
H-Masters Day doing a lot of work.
The quirky Leona threat. You just if Leona lands a grip onto someone, like Corky will proc her passive both times very easily with his machine gun and his what's it called? A phosphorus bomb. His Gatling gun and his phosphorus bomb. You can just follow up with that, proc the passive stacks, huge amount of armor shred and magic damage, which it's really hard to itemize and defend against.
For Karab. Places a ward directly underneath his tower.
I believe that was a misplay. Or lag.
Or lag.
It's lag.
Definitely could be lag.
It's lag.
David the Rose spamming
See,
the
Mark's
Fnatic
hot sister
flare.
discovers his red buff. I'm sure he is very saddened by that. He's kind of slouched over, looking a little frail here, a little displeased.
Oh yeah, I guess I have this.
Taking out his frustration on the Raptors.
He isn't down any inform at all, although I guess he's down a little bit. I think he's right behind one camp because Heinz Ward was able to pick up that.
Yeah,
steal.
you do, and now if we posture up the top lane, you do see both these tanks are but Nautilus has put out quite a little bit more pressure here as far as damage output goes. And I believe
CS
that
advantage?
Yeah, I believe that's how the matchup should go. See some action in the bot lane.
I feel like every time I try to direct the camera top lane, then something pops off bot lane.
Something, yeah, exactly. Well, that's just the nature of this bot lane.
Yeah, the Mountain King's taking down really low. However, we do see Mark's hot sister coming in. Might be trying to get a yank off here. Will he leap? That the Trap God's able to grab the wall.
Oh, get some BM on.
Little bit of damage coming in. Little bit of damage coming in.
Moves.
It's gonna be forced back from that one.
I think he had already committed to the back, so he's like, I'm just gonna waste your time.
Got a little bit of BM, a little bit of time wasting going
Got
in.
the BM. BM, don't listen to what they said at the end of last game. BM is always worthwhile. Always, absolutely
Wasn't worthwhile for Juice Sally there.
It was
Definitely
worthwhile. He redeemed himself
pulled the
by
trigger.
getting the BM in the face of defeat. It's a good play.
See a little bit of pressure on Zelkor mid lane. Heinz Ward making
See
a
that
trip
ward's
there
cleared out.
Try to clear some ward out.
Staying true to his name.
What?
He's the Heinz Ward man.
The Heinz Ward
Controls
man.
the wards.
Controls the wards.
That's right.
Zelkor actually has a CS advantage. now.
Very significant CS advantage.
He's level 6 too as well. Legendary
Legendary
Guildford actually just went
Guildford
level
is-
6 as well.
Yeah. Let's see. Zelkor has Ignite. I don't know if he has enough to kill Zerath, but he definitely has enough to force him out of lane if he wants to. If he can land the ultimate, followed up by all his damage.
If Zerath plays it smartly, oh, Church People going in on a Kabrab who flashes out almost immediately. Phosphorus Bomb takes him down to about 100 health.
See Kha'Zix, that ward is going to spot him. They know he's there. Maybe they didn't see him. He just popped out for a quick
They
second.
have to be careful here because Rab is basically taken out of the fight. It's going to be a 2v2 at best.
They're
Phosphorus
just,
Bomb again,
oh my
almost!
lord.
10 health! 10 health with Rab. He really
Holy
needs to
moly.
back here now. A flash auto is all it takes. I just mentioned he does have flash available and heal.
Does he have heal?
Yep.
Rab does have
Oh,
heal.
Rab
so maybe
has
he can
heal,
bait.
okay.
He can bait something if he's quick enough.
He has to be very quick because that's one auto attack.
Yeah. Yeah, but Corky's projectile kind of moves a little slow. He's got some wind up.
It's true. Looks like he did head back though, so Mark's hot sister and Olivia the Rose will be trying to keep him off the tower as best they can. Those phosphorus bombs do a lot of damage. Wow.
Yeah,
level
they
5.
do. That's the thing with Corky. He's like an early and mid game bully. Especially once he builds his Trinity Force, he's gonna not dumpster, but he'll exert so much pressure in the bot lane. I think Rab's gonna have a very hard time CSing comfortably. You can see that in the CS difference in the bot lane, 29 to 59. It's like up 5 waves. That's very troubling. We can see this is what I talked about in Champ Select. The only way for the main pathway to victory.
Oh, we actually
for
see Legendary Guildford getting the hook, the fish onto him. The ignite
Is it
sticking
enough?
as well. The ignite isn't enough.
Oh my
Malshot's
lord.
sister, a little bit of a misplay there, flashing forward. Didn't think the ignite was enough to pick up the kill. Now Zelkor actually might get
He's got
perma-slowed
the
up
minion
here
to
by
get out.
Heinz Ward. Is able to make it out, but takes a decent amount of health.
It's very
Forced
amusing.
out.
Anyway, as I was saying in Champ Select, the only way for Chronokeepers to really win here is by getting an early game advantage. So let's see
Sally
if they
actually
can get
coming
one
in.
in the bot lane.
Flanking his own lane here, although Bromson almost is triggered. H-Master J doing a lot of damage, so the exhaust finally comes out, but it was when everyone was pretty much already disengaged, so they do bring that summer out of
Yeah,
the
that
rows.
was in their favor. Didn't trade any summoners. They did pop an ultimate, exert some pressure. Now they can rotate up to the dragon, secure that with the help of Olaf.
It's going to be a pretty easy dragon for them. Picks up one for the Chronokeepers, and they are off to a little bit of an early game advantage, about 1,000 gold up, as well as the dragon buff.
Now it looks like all the advantages on Chronokeepers is concentrated in their top laner, who's up a whole level, is up
About 420 gold.
20 something CS, and in the bot lane as well on Corky. So really all Guildford has to do is concentrate on not feeding the Fizz and making him very large and dangerous.
I think Mark's last sister really needs to work on not doing any more misplays, because
Yeah,
after the tail flash
that
over
was
the wall and then the flash mid lane, he's just
that was very
giving up
apparent
lots of free kills.
in the last game as well. With some of his Rek'Sai plays, he would tunnel onto the back line completely alone, the other side of a wall, and just get taken out.
Rab's just walks straight up to H-Master J, doesn't even pop off an auto attack, and walks away with half of his health chunked away from the phosphorus bomb.
Let's see. Now, Mark's hot sister could rotate around, pop his ultimate.
There comes all different trade to Reblade. He
should
looks
ultimate
on to
now.
Olivia the Rose now, but Mark's hot sister is here. The exhaust comes out from trade to Reblade. Are they going to be able to walk out of this one? H-Master J pops the heal. Will he be able to save his support? Mark's
Has
hot
enough. Get
sister
the stun on him
almost
if he
down
can.
now, but H-Master J forced a flash out. Not going to be able to pick anything off.
See if Zelkor can
was
follow
driven
this
down.
up.
The dive might come through anyway, even missing chums of the waters, and it does pick up the kill.
That was some
Legendary
good
Guildford.
play there. Mark's hot sister finally is coming up with a good play. He waits for the all-in. Immediately he commits to Leona because Leona has the Braum passive marked on her. He
We actually
knows
have a
that he
dive
can-
coming in top lane now. Heinz Ward tanking up the turret, and it will be enough for Dad the Trap God to pick up the kill onto the Mountain King. That was just a hard, long dive. Wow.
Yeah, it was. That they have a good. You're really not gonna see either Maokai or Nautilus get killed top lane unless you have someone who is CC immune, like a Master Yi or an Olaf who can just run in, do a ton of damage, get you killed, and then get out of there. That was a good draft pick by Heinz Ward, calling for the Olaf so he can deal with him effectively.
Markshot sister gonna try to clear up Pink Ward at Dragon. That still has a decent amount of time left on it.
It's a pretty close game.
Yeah, so far it is right now. Even in kills, most speeds.
Legalize Beat's really gonna have to rely on Zelkor here, though. He's got a bit of an advantage, not much right now. He's up CS, he's up a kill. But they're gonna have to rely on him to make picks all throughout the mid game. We're approaching it here too. Pretty much once one of the bot towers falls down, we transition around the 15-18 minute mark.
Might change drastically once we get out of the laning phase, right? Because I mean, most of the individual matchups are losing besides Zelkor, and we especially see that with Mark's hot sister. You know, a lot of these ganks aren't going as well as he's expecting them to go. But once we transition into team fights, you know, that could change a lot. They might be better as a cohesive unit than the Chronokeepers are.
This is true. We did see that in the last game a little bit, but I think most of that was attributed to the the playmaking potential that Vigar offers. Now Fizz can do a lot of playmaking potential as well, or offer that. However, the frequency with which he can do that isn't as high. You really only have his ultimate as it's using as his main initiation tool, and without it, he's gonna have to wait for the cooldown to come back up before he can get all in onto a team of 5 members.
Yeah, plus, he can't delete somebody from across the map. He has to be next to them, typically, to delete them to get the full combo off. So.
But if he goes for Azanias as his next
Olivia
item,
the Rose actually caught out here. Trey Terrible will be able to get the stun off. Usually jumps to a minion directly on top of Mage Master J, who then picks up the kill.
that was I'm not sure why he didn't go to Rab. That was a very good read by Drew, however. He knew, okay, he has 2 options. He can jump to a minion or he can jump to his Tristana. Let's drop the ultimate on her. Keep her locked down. If he jumps to her, he's locked down with them. Very good play by the Chronokeepers. They're going to get this bot tower. They're going to get this pink ward as well. That's big money right there. Or they're going to
walk right by it.
Pink
yes,
wards
no.
are tricky.
H Master J turns around for
Thank
it.
God
Yep.
H Master J is listening.
Yep.
Gets the pink ward. Gets the 30 gold. That's big money right there.
Heinz Ward's actually still shoving up here. Might actually pick up a kill on the Rab. There's a whole lot of damage coming in,
Jumps
but
right towards him. That
not
was
able to pick it up.
not sure what Rab was going for there. He's got
From
his
the waters,
buddy
doesn't land on
Braum
Legendary Guild for it. Mark's Hot Sister is here for the backup. Oh, Zelkor with the jump picks up the kill. 3-0 in the mid lane, and like we said, Legendary
That's
Guild
where
for
they
having a
need the
really
pressure.
tough time.
That's where they need it. They got a Kha'Zix who can invis into the lane. They got Fizz who can keep you locked down and then delete you. That's what they need to do. They need to harass this immobile mage in the mid lane. Keep the CS differential growing. You have 50 CS up on Zelkor at the moment. He's got big money. See, he's up almost 1,400 gold. 15 minutes in. That's
Heinz
huge.
Ward actually going to get spotted out here by Mark's Hot Sister, and he's going to get deleted. Picks up the kill for himself.
Good
And Mark's
play,
Sister's
good
behind
play.
H Master J. Rab might be able to pick up the kill. Oh, but before he falls
Save him,
over.
Minions.
Oh, and the
Minions
kill
coming
against
up
his
big.
double. Nice play
Cannon,
there.
Zoom in on the cannon minion.
Zoom in on the cannon minion.
Zoom in on the cannon.
The MVP cannon minion right there.
Look at that. Last hitting that Tristana like a boss.
That was a
That's-
nice play by H Master J. I think if he had turned earlier for the kill, he would have gotten the kill on the Rab. But I mean, he was able to secure both of them. So props to
Yeah.
him for the 2-0 or 2-for-1 overall.
That was a very good play. Uh-oh. See Zelkor.
Yeah, going in with
Dodges
the waters
the stun.
again onto Legendary Guildford. Picks up the kill, but is locked up by Trey Terrible. Took a lot of damage from those tower hits, but he's going to be able to hop out.
Now Drew still has his ultimate. If he puts a full combo on the Zelkor, he can chunk him out pretty significantly. But I don't know if he has the kill potential yet. Now you see Zelkor, he can solo kill Xerath pretty much no problem. Even with the threat of Leona to lock him up.
Mark's Hot Sister again,
So he
locked
can
up by the
make this
Zenith
jump.
Blade here. H Master J rockets forward, and the last
Beautiful.
rocket will connect for the kill.
That was very beautiful play by both Trace Terrible and H Master J. All skill shots were on point. Dead center ultimate, beautiful play.
It looks like
And
they're
they
gonna try a
secured Dragon
two-man
out of it.
Dragon. Yep.
They
Will be their
should be
second
able to
one
get
of the
that.
game.
This is uncontested. You see Zelkor posturing towards the top lane. He is spotted out by that Vision Ward, however. Is it Vision? Right?
I'm not sure.
Or
what,
Stealth Wards.
I'm not sure what Mark's Hot Sister was doing in the position he was in. He just kind of was.
He may have
Out
been. He may have
into-
been checking and trying to secure Scuttle, or he was just making one of his plays. You know.
He didn't have any vision of the river though. He had no
Yeah.
idea who was in there at all.
Well,
and
maybe
just-
I think he was trying to secure Vision. Is what I'm saying.
Right,
That's
yeah.
that's the only thing that makes sense. He's made some questionable calls, however. So I'm not sure what's going on in his mind. But that's what I would assume. He was trying to get some vision, maybe get Scuttle. And it was just unfortunate timing there. That is something that Legalize Weed's really lacking on, is their vision game. They have some vision in their own jungle for some reason. A lot of pink wards. A lot of stealth wards, like all the way back on their tier 2 tower. I'm not sure why they have vision there. They really need to get some vision either in the river, in the middle, or into Chronokeepers jungle.
You see, they
But
do
the
have
only
some
way to do
wards
that
around the
is the
dragon
pressure.
side of river, but that's not really a critical area for them right now. No one's really
Not at
contesting
the moment,
anything.
man.
The blue buff isn't up. The Baron isn't up. They really should have wards, like you said, around the dragon area, which is where the Chronokeepers are focusing all their
Like you can see Chronokeepers have had full vision on Zelkor for the past like 20 seconds there. They know he's there, they know where he is, where he's roaming. Legendary Guildford's feeling pretty safe here. He can just back out whenever he wants.
Behind ward comes in with the behind the tower gank now. Ragnarok
Mark's
is
Hot
on. Will he be able to
Sister's
pick it
here
up?
to
Down the
counter
Trap
gank.
God picks up the kill. Mark's Hot Sister
See if he
though
can
with the
follow
counter
up.
gank is able to pick up one. Will he be able to get the second on the Dad the Trap God? The dredge
He doesn't
line
have his
isn't
dredge line.
quite up yet. 6 seconds, 5 seconds left on that. Mark's Hot Sister might be going for the dive here. Nope. Thinks better of it once the
Backs out.
shield
That
comes
was
up.
smart. But
Oh, but
Zelkor's
Zelkor
here.
misses the chums the waters, but it is a 2-man dive, and Zelkor unstoppable with 5 kills. 0 deaths on Fizz.
That was a lot of burst. I'm surprised he had that much. Zerath did rotate up just a little too slow. He's going to stop this push, make sure the tower still stands, while Corky and Leona do a nice rotation to the middle. Get that tier 1 tower. Second tower of the game.
Now, to
Now they have
avoid
some more-
trading
some
their
more
bot
global
lane, they
gold.
should head immediately back down bot, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Maybe they can come up behind him. They still have everything in their kit. That's what Drew opts to do.
Yeah, full
He
summoners
wants
here.
this fight. A little miscommunication there. H Master J is not there with him. I'm not sure if Drew realizes that, however.
They don't have a second tier turret. The Zenith Blade does myth, however, the Solar Flare is still available. Will he be able to lock up a single member? Does get the stun onto Rab, the exhaust as well, but
Good
Rab gets a
ultimate
nice
away.
ultimate away now. The rocket jump and the heal should be enough for them to get out. Olivia the Rose is slowed up. Zelkor given enough time to come down here. The lands of the waters onto Blade, and he will be the first one to fall down. Zelkor flashes out, able to get out safely, waiting for his
Gonna get that
cooldown to
stun.
reset.
Here comes
The stun does not go through. Avocado doesn't get the auto attack off. Dead the Trap God now with the dredge line onto Olivia the Rose. Helps secure the kill for his team.
They need to disengage here.
It was interesting because Ka Rab was, I think, within auto attack range and could have gotten the stun off onto Heinz Ward, I believe. But instead,
Well,
too
keep
long
in
and
mind he's
expired.
an Olaf with Ragnarok. He's just gonna
Right,
pop his ultimate if he gets stunned and waltz away, no problem.
We have 4 members down here.
Oh
Oh,
my
Mark's
lord,
Sister
look
is
at that
annihilated
damage.
underneath this tower, absolutely deleted.
This is where the
and now the
poke comp
artillery
shines.
comes in. Fancy feat by Rab will keep him safe.
This is where the poke comp shines. The mid game, this is exactly what they needed. They needed the mid game pressure. They needed to get Corky big enough to be a real threat. And Corky and Zera together with some Olaf axes are just gonna decimate people. You see, Mark's Hot Sister jumped right in there, immediately gets locked up, and is just decimated.
User
Just
joined your
completely
channel.
removed. Very good play all around by the Chronokeepers.
Yeah, Legalize
Hello.
Crystal Weed were able to pick up a tower in that
left your
top
channel.
lane in the meantime. But I think that was mostly because the Mountain King did not have his teleport available.
Yeah,
so
his
he couldn't go
teleport
into
was
his team
down.
If he did not want to, if he wanted to.
Now, he does have teleport available. Dragon's coming up in a little over a minute now. He would have the teleport advantage for Nautilus if he wants to. I think his best bet by the Maokai would be to split push bot lane while the remainder of his team tries to pressure mid, keep them busy there, maybe try to secure that bot lane tower, and then collapse onto Dragon for a fight. At this point, both teams are pretty even, with the exception that their gold is kind of skewed into specific players. You have Corky with a huge mid-game power spikes, got his Triforce, got a BF sword, got sword shoes.
2,000
He's
gold
going to
over
be shredding.
Tristana right now.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely shredding people in the front line. Not really a whole lot of magic resistance built yet on the Braum and Maokai front line, so they're going to take a lot of damage. But we'll see if Zelkor can make a nice play here, land a Chum the Waters, pick one of the carries, and then hopefully force a 4v5. Both teams are posturing for vision around Dragon,
Now, looks like
securing the
currently-
pink ward, securing Scuttle. Legalize Weed is definitely making the right move here, setting
They're
up
in
for
the
this play.
advantageous position. However, they are a little bit split if Chronokeepers decide to go in. They do like to let Dredge onto Mountain King, but not the target they want here. The poke is starting to come through though. H-Master J and Legendary Guildford trying to keep the health bars of Legalize Crystal Weed relatively low before they start getting into this engagement. Dredge line does land on the Mark's Hot Sister now. Will he fall down? Depth charge goes up as well.
Look at that
He
damage.
falls down. Great
Good
to
lord.
replay in the mix as well. Mountain King is going to go down. The Legendary
Zelcor's
Guildford.
just farming mid lane for some reason. Right now they need to push mid and try to get a tower while they do dragon. Tristana should be up there already. I guess Rab's gonna opt for. I don't know why they aren't pushing.
So that was 2 kills for nothing in that engagement.
Just get an
They're
objective.
going to pick up Dragon
Liv,
off
do
of
the
that.
right thing. Livia's doing the right thing.
And
Get in
they
there.
got top lane turret by the
Go
minion.
get in there. Please, one of you, just go get the tower.
Almost dead. Does only have 400 health left, but the Dragon's already picked up, and it looks like Chronokeepers' massive advantage in that engagement.
It's just
puts them
growing.
3,000 gold up. now.
Yeah, I really don't understand. If you ever lose members in around an objective, just rotate. Disengage, rotate, try to get another objective to match it. Get a tower to match it. But instead they all opt for jungle farm, top lane farm, and now they're gonna lose a tier 2 as well.
And this is really Chronokeepers flexing their mid-game siege potential here, like you said. The Corki and Xerath, plenty of wave clear. They can keep the opponents off of their turret as they deal damage to it. And right now, they're 5 turrets up versus the 1 that has been followed by Legalize Crystal Weed so far.
Yeah. Now, this is the problem that Legalized Weed is going to run into with their composition, is that sure they may do fine in a skirmishing mindset. You have Kha'Zix who can get in there, Fizz who can get in there, get on the back line, eliminate a target. But in a 5v5 group composition, you're not going to get through a Nautilus, you're not going to get through a Leona without any kind of return damage. And Kha'Zix right now is just really squishy. He's going full damage. He has a Hex Drinker, but it's not really going to be enough. I do see a pause coming out.
Young
But I really don't know, unless they get a very advantageous pick around an objective that they can capitalize on. I don't see how they're going to come back. All Chronokeepers have to do to not lose is stay grouped and push objectives.
So now
Push that tier 2 in the top, get Baron, deny vision, set up a pick, get rid of someone, and then get the objective and push with it. That's all they have to do. They have the advantage. Hopefully they realize it by now. Zocor
in some
Okay,
dangerous
we
spots, able to play full
we
trickster
see
out
a,
though.
the two of them just kind of looked at each other like, what should we do here? I think they just opted for the safer route. Zelcor probably could have been able to kill Corki. I'm not sure if he could have gotten away with it. I think he made the right move there. Maybe Corki could have disengaged with all the summoners he has.
Yeah, I think really a lot of this is going to be determined by how well the team of the Chronokeepers play around H-Master J, because
We
if
see
they're able
Heinz
to
huge Olaf, has over 3,000 health, just runs right up to the mountain.
forces the Mountain King to
Chopping-
pop out the
chopping
Vengeful Maelstrom
down
already.
trees,
Now,
got his action.
H-Master J comes into the mix as well. Mountain King
Full
flashes
on
over the wall, but it's not
lumberjack
going to be enough to
mode.
save him. Mark's Hot Sister, meanwhile, contending with Dad the Trap God. Solar Flare comes through. Zelcor picks up a kill now. Nice knock-up from Livia the Rose. Trace Reble is going to fall over now. Kyle Rad picks up that kill. Legendary Guildford spots out Zelcor, but isn't able to lock him down with the stun before the flash over the wall.
Unfortunately,
Very
Legendary
split up
Guildford.
fight here.
Yeah, we had a couple skirmishes going on there. I believe Legalized Week came out ahead there. They only lost Maokai to the Corki Leona. I think Legendary Guildford could have followed up onto Zelcor if he had wanted. Zelcor's going to opt for going into the top lane, push that wave out, get some farm. And we see Chronokeepers posturing up
Dad
mid
the
lane.
Trap God lands the
catch
line onto
Tristana.
Kyle Rab. He's able to rocket jump away to safety
Yeah.
as the Unbreakable comes out from Livia the Rose.
See what Zelcor buys here. He's got
See, this
enough
kind
gold.
of highlights what I think is the Legalize Crystal Weed's key to victory, and that is as long as Corki can get killed, they have a decent chance. Corki is a huge source of their damage right now, where a lot of their gold is focused on. If they're able to pop him out, Lamar's hot sister gets locked up with the dredge line.
Goes for the BM, gets hooked.
He needs to be careful because he's 267 on that Kha'Zix. He's been eating a lot of damage. Trade for Replay forced to flash out. Chum the Waters does connect, and he's almost certainly going to fall down into this fault. Solar Flare locks up Zelkor, though. Not able to reach Trade to Replay. Now the Trap God's going to fall down for it instead. No, he's still alive as well. Mark's sister dives in, but he's not able to pick up the kill. H-Master J gets that one. Zelkor finally picks up Trade to Replay. The Mountain King's on the back line. Conrad picks the kill onto the Trap God, and they're just doing work. Conrad gets the resets, the rocket jumps. Are they going to be able to get any more out of this one? It looks like. Finally, the Chronokeepers have been able to disengage.
That fight was all over the place. Wow. A little sloppy on both sides. I think there was just mistakes followed up by people capitalizing on them. You see Drew kind of had the panic flash. Zelkor knew, okay, you don't have any escape. Let me throw the ult out. Let me lock you down. Get some damage out. Force Nautilus to run in there. Now he's at no health. Unfortunately, he does get taken out by Corki as soon as he lands, or Xerath rather, as soon as he lands. But a good flank by Maokai allows for cleanup to come through, and they end up winning that fight 3-2, or 3-2. This does close the gold gap a little bit. It's back to 3,000, which this late in the game is okay. Still in the advantage of Chronokeepers. Kind of keeps them in this game a little bit.
I think a big part of the reason that Legalize Crystal Weed did well in that team fight was that Rab had really good positioning. He stayed healthy until he started getting resets. Then once the resets started coming through, he was able to rocket jump forward and just keep the pressure onto the Chronokeepers.
Tristana's great because she can, in these types of jungle skirmishes, because you can separate yourself. Oh,
dredge line actually lands on the okay, nothing happened there. Sorry.
It's okay. He's Fizz.
It was a max hook. It was a max distance dredge line.
It was a good hook.
Good hook. It was gonna land,
solid hook. Solid Nautilus play. I will say that from Dad the Trap God. He's where he needs to be in team fights. He's doing what he has to do. He's saying, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm getting in there."
They really need to chem this dragon. It will be the fourth one for Chronokeepers.
Let's see if they can get in here, disrupt them, get a steal.
Now Rose gets a nice knock up here. Heinz Ward Ragnarok all the way back onto Rab though now. Mountain King might fall down. They did blow the exhaust on a Trace Reboost, so it's no longer available. Legendary Killford picks up the kill onto the Mountain King. Guy the Trap God going down low. Mark's sister picks up that kill, but snipe from the back. Out. Double kill for Legendary Guildford. Mark's sister finally falls down as well, but Zelkor is still alive along with Rab. Will he be able to pick up the kill? They will be able to get both of them. They should. Zelkor only delaying the inevitable, and he falls down. Finally, the Legendary Guildford.
Hopped the wrong way. Gets the kill though.
He actually gets the kill on the Ice Master J.
Yeah, that was good. That fight, I'm not. I think there was definitely some miscommunication on the Legalize Weed side. You have Maokai pops Righteous Glory, runs in for some reason, twisted advances onto Nautilus. Like that's the last target you want to twist advance onto, and then you just have the rest of his team come in. Zelkor's back farming. He comes in late, lances his ultimate onto Leona, and he is able to get a kill on Corki in the end, but at the cost of losing your whole team. And I think if they're gonna all in around an objective, they have to do so with their whole team present, not just pulling the trigger and then hoping that Fizz gets there in time.
Legendary Guildford was played very well there. He had very good positioning. He was able to stay in the back. He stayed healthy the entire fight and just sniped from the back.
Yeah, didn't take any damage. He was making some good picks there with his Q.
I did see an exhaust come through onto Trade Replay, and that is just an obvious. That's just a misplay. There's no way. There's no place. Almost no place where you'd want to see an exhaust come out onto Leona.
Oh no, support. Yeah, she did. I don't know if you saw that. She didn't answer it by exhausting Zelkor though before he had done anything.
Oh, okay.
So she kind of ran up, exhausted him, and he just like kept walking. The second they exhausted.
Oh, the flash was in advance on the Ace Master J. Will they be able to pick up the kill onto this land? It looks like Rab is going to be able to secure that one. Jumps back now, but Ragnarok Heinz Ward is going to be able to smack him down. He's behind the rest of the team, though. Will he be able to make it out of this one? He's still on the Zelkor.
trying to still do some work. Where is his team,
That's
though?
late game
And his team
Olaf.
comes back in to help him out. Zelkor's gonna fall down here. Trade Cereblade jumps in with a Zenith Blade. Mountain King trying to pick up Heinz Ward. Does get a switch advantage on the tower, but taking lots of tower shots now, and it will fall down. The legendary Guildford picks him up with the stun. Trade Cereblade flashes forward with the Zenith Blade, but the Mark jumps back onto the legendary Guildford. Nice dodge there from the Void Spike. And the fadeaway kill.
That would have been great. If he got that kill, could have jumped right back over the wall and escaped. He had two options, to jump over the wall and try to get out, or to go all in on Xerath. He went for the... At this point, you have to make that play, though. You have to commit to trying to come back, trying to shut down their Fed Mage, who's now 8-3-5, get the shutdown gold. But unfortunately, he wasn't able to complete it.
Ka Rab's going to try to get some damage onto both of these tanky members of the Chronokeepers. But yeah, like you said, I mean, it was almost a kill. I'm pretty sure that Void Spike would have killed Legendary Guildford.
It would have been enough.
The fancy feat, the Serpentine maneuver, is too much.
There was some good Serpentine. My favorite thing to do to build on mages is get movement speed. You can see he got Sork Boots, he's got Ludens. He's sitting at 437 movement speed. You can dodge skill shots, you position great while throwing out spells. It's the best defensive stat you can get as an AP mage. It's movement speed. It was really good he had that. He could get the jukes, the fancy feet, get out of there. And now you see his poke is doing work. He just chunked Kha'Zix about 20% of his life. He's just got to land a couple more and completely take him out of the fight.
Chronokeepers still holding on to their gold lead here, about 5,000 gold ahead. They do have 4 dragons up, so that 5th dragon win condition is coming up fairly shortly. Probably within the next 2 to 3 minutes here for Chronokeepers.
All they really need to do is
Mark's Hot Sister is in a really bad position here. He was
wants
able
the
to
blue
pick up
buff.
the blue buff, but Zenith Blade will land. There's 4 players over here. Not going to be able to jump it out.
Yeah. I don't know why he
fall
waited
behind
for
for the
Leona
reckless
to
swing.
walk into him like that.
It's just he doesn't. I mean, he needs to recognize now that that part of his jungle is not safe. Like he's not safe taking that by himself at this point.
Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of misplays coming out from Mark's Hot Sister, and it's costing Legalize Weed their game. With the early game advantage given over.
Zelkor's locked up by a dredge line, and Death Trap God is running good interference as the rest of his team takes out. Goes out the BM.
Look at that beef.
Daring him to come in, dude. Daring him.
Look at that beef.
Oh, the depth charge goes. Actually, Zelkor's gonna dodge that one, but Tail Replay gets in the mix, misses a solar flare.
Doesn't matter. Heinz
The
Ward's in the
vengeful
back
Maelstrom comes down. Lydia Rose almost gonna fall down, but
Olaf.
Ragnarok Olaf doing work. Legendary Guildford, Legendary picks up the kill. Onto the Mountain King. Ka Rab on the other side of the map. He's gonna try to just take a quick back out. No Mage Master Days. That's none of that.
Oh my
Gets the Valkyrie over the wall.
That's the Triforce power of the Corki. Instantly deletes you.
The BM coming in from that Trap God. That's really what
See
won
that
the
the
fight.
Trap God can 1v1 this Kha'Zix. Oh, if that connected.
Doesn't hit the dredge line quite, but he knew that they had an advantage there. He knew he could zone them. He knew that his team would come
4v5
around on them.
And even if they all in commit, I really feel like Fizz was not the right call here for Legalize Weed. Maybe as like a solo snowball carry, but in this late game, you're not gonna get to the back line without having to contend with an unsuccessful Olaf who will just shred you. Like, you can see the damage output he puts out is absurd. As well as the CC that Nautilus and Leona provides. He's never going to get onto the back line unless he can flank. Zelkor can't approach from the front. There's absolutely no reason he should ever stay like grouped with his team. He should be on a flank somewhere, ready to pounce on the back line when Maokai goes in.
In almost all these team fights, we've seen Heinz Ward throw on the Ragnarok and just get on top of Zelkor, not let go.
Or Ka Rab. He's done that a couple of times as well.
Right.
He gets to a carry and just... They're not going to do damage. No one wants to.
This is a bad fight for Legalize Crystal Weed. Heinz Ward throws on the Ragnarok, already back onto Ka Rab in the backline, doing a whole bunch of damage, and the health bars of Legalize Crystal Weed are starting to dwindle. Trade Replay does fall down, but it's already easily in the hands of the Chronokeepers here. Mark Hudson's the only one alive, and that's 5 for 2
You
in
can
favor.
just see the amount of damage that Xerath and Corki put out together is absurd. They all clump up. You have a Maokai, a Braum, a Kha'Zix, and a Fizz. They all clump up on the front line because they're trying to peel for Tristana, who's getting decimated by the ultimate from Nautilus or the ultimate chase potential that Olaf provides.
That's 5th
And then-
Dragon.
Yeah, that's 5th Dragon. Look at that. I haven't seen a 5th Dragon in a long time. Look how cool they are. They're all
Yep.
glowy and stuff.
5th Dragon. They don't have quite as long death time as
Look at
they
that
would
glow.
like.
Look at that glow.
I see the glow. The glow's
Look at the
coming
glow.
through. That the Trap God tanking up the turret, trying to get this inhibitor turret, but the respawn's
Let's
already
get that
coming
trending.
through.
Hashtag glow. Hashtag glow sticks.
38 minutes into the game, the respawn timers aren't quite as long as they would like.
I do
to
see
pick
a
up more.
teleport flank. Let's see what Maokai can do. I'm not really sure if he has the damage. Yeah, that was.
Oh, he actually teleported? Interesting. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
he tried to home guards teleport.
It looks
to,
like he's gonna, no, might have tried to
I
lock up
wouldn't.
H-Master J, but
I wouldn't have gone in. He's just gonna Valkyrie out.
11,000 gold rather advantage for the Chronokeepers. 11
I
kills
feel like
up.
unless any member from Chronokeepers stay separated from their team, then they have an assured win. That's all I need is to stay grouped and push objectives. They have an exposed inhibitor in the mid lane. Just walk right in. Just bumble in. You have this huge front line. Really hard to flank in your own base because there's so much vision.
If you take a look at the gold now, Zelkor and Legendary Guildford are actually almost dead even in gold.
Yeah, Zelkor's done a really great job at. I mean, he had a huge early game lead, a big CS advantage, big kill advantage, and you can see he's really the only member on his team who's getting kills. So all the gold's being poured into him, and all they have to do is every team fight, depth charge is placed onto him. You have it followed up by Leona focuses him, drops the exhaust, and at that point, Fizz isn't really going to be able to do much as Olaf tears through the back line with Xerath and Corki laying down the poke.
To pick up the blue buff for themselves, further choking out.
They
Legalize
need to
crystal
push
lead.
mid lane. That's all they have to do. Push mid lane, get that inhibitor, secure an objective, and then rotate to a side lane, preferably top. You have a top wave pushing. Is it pushing? Yeah, it is pushing in their favor. Then they can rotate up, get that tier 2.
Legendary Guildford actually not with the team right now, so this is the 45 they choose to go in on this one.
I don't know where he's going. I think he's trying to push out bot.
He did pick
But-
up his own blue buff, and now he's trying to
Oh,
rejoin
okay,
the
there you go.
team.
He does have the ultimate presence.
Mountain King going
Uh-oh,
in by
Zelkor
himself, but he gets
singles him
locked
out.
up almost immediately now.
Beautiful.
Gets to switch the fans on H-Master J, but Zelkor actually picks up Legendary Guildford now. Straight to Replay trying to lock up Zelkor.
Wow.
But, oh, this team actually might be going in the favor of Legalize Crystal Weed. No, their health bars are way too low for this one. The turnaround comes in. Heinz Ward still
front
doing a
line's
bunch
just
of damage.
massive.
Livy the Rose goes down. Mountain King, the only one still alive, and he falls to the dredge line.
That was the best team fight they could ask for. Zelkor spots, he has the board there, he spots out Xerath coming in, immediately deletes him. For some reason he opts to jump, he jumps back in on Corki who Valkyrie out, but doesn't follow through up on him. Tries to help out the front line. See the beefy front line. This is the era of the juggernauts. They stand grouped together and just wail on whatever comes in range.
And that's going
you
to
see
be
the power of Olaf coming through.
That's going to
Health
be the
prevails.
Chronokeepers picking up the second game of this series, so they actually tie out. Each team gets 1 point as a result.
Wow, that was just great play by them. They knew their win condition, they knew their strengths, and they capitalized on it. Great play from Chronokeepers.
Yeah, really nice to see that team doesn't get too demoralized after losing a single game, and they were able to come together. And I mean, we both thought that the Legalize Crystal Weed had the better composition. It looked like that they were the stronger ones going in, but really the Chronokeepers just played to their strengths and they executed better than Legalize Crystal Weed did.
It was more they just had the gold advantage the whole game. I think if this game were even in gold in all the lanes, or even the advantage of Legalized Weed, you would have seen a stomp, because their comp really excels at snowballing. You have Kha'Zix who can just leap around, tear people up. Fizz who can single out a target, delete them. Tristana has some great peel, great damage output on the front line. She did have a last whisper at the end, but it's just so much lockdown from a Nautilus, Leona, and Olaf that she can't really do much without significant peel. Like Braum and Maokai were trying the whole time, and they just being behind in items led to their demise.
All right, well, thanks everyone for watching this. I believe there are still several more games to play, or at least one more. I knew there were some starting at 9 o'clock, so they probably are still being casted on either Pit Lol or Pit Lol 2, so be sure to check those out. Thanks for staying with me and Fartosh for the games. John, anything you want to add before we sign off?
No, I think we about covered it.
All right, thanks
Yeah,
everyone
thanks
for
for
watching.
coming out.
Be sure to check out the rest of the games today and then next week's games.